Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, folks, Mother Nature definitely cooperated with us this past weekend, this past holiday weekend, and for many people it was an extended weekend with Monday being taken off by a lot of people, and honestly the fish really cooperated in many areas. A lot of people had some luck despite the heat, and guess what, we're getting into that summer pattern now, so keep that in mind as we move forward throughout the month of July. As far as the lakes producing fish up in the northeast, Waubay really started to take off this past week, as well as Bitter continues to produce fish, and I'm talking walleyes that is, and Indian Springs, Enemy Swim, Lynn, and Pickerel all have done the same. Other lakes down the southeastern part of the state that continue to produce walleyes include 81 Ponds, Ponset, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, Oakwood, Sinai, Madison, Beaver, Island, and Twin. And remember, Twin is the trophy lake that every fish has to be over 28 inches or more to keep it, so keep that in mind. Now, what have guys been using on the lakes around here in the eastern half of the state? A lot of spinners now with live bait. Leeches or crawlers definitely seem to be the way to go. Other guys are pulling some plugs, whether or not it's flicker shads, hornets, or the shadow dancers. Those are three main plugs. And then also guys are casting X-Wraps into the shallows and having some luck yet, despite the warmer water temperatures. So again, don't discount the shallow water bite. And then the Missouri River guys are doing really well out there. A lot of guys now are pulling plugs over the trees, so keep that in mind. So bandits and reef runners really come in handy if you do not use lead core. And then as far as the crappie bite is concerned, lakes continue to produce crappie, include Ponset, Thompson, Sinai, Alvin, as well as Henry. And then as far as the perch bite is concerned, a lot of lakes really haven't produced many perch, a few here and there, so keep that in mind. But what guys have been using are a lot of pilkies as well as shiny heinies seem to be doing the trick with live bait. In this week's version of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about two things that can make your fishing trip go bad in a hurry. And what are those two things? Dull hooks and dead bait. Well, the first one is pretty easy to take care of, and that is your bait. We want to avoid your going out there and your bait dying. So the way you need to do that is to take proper care. And there's nothing more important than taking care of your bait, especially during the heat of July as well as August. Now, when you come into the store, obviously we'll put your minnows in an oxygen bag, but you need to remember you cannot just leave that oxygen bag of minnows in the direct sunlight. That bag will warm up and your minnows will die right away. So you need to keep that bag as cool as you possibly can. Keep it in the fridge, keep it in the cooler, and do not place the minnows directly on a bag of ice. Have something in between them to avoid shock. But then when you get to your destination, make sure you properly transfer those minnows and that water into your bait container, and make sure that bait container stays cool and well oxygenated. Those are two critical things to keep your minnows alive, and then as well as the crawlers and leeches, keep them cool. That's the important thing with those two, is to keep them as cool as you possibly can. And then as far as dull hooks, the main thing that you need to do is, don't keep using that same lure over and over and over without checking that hook to make sure it still has that sharp point to it. If you don't, grab out a file, and we have them here at the store, then you can take that hook and file that point to the sharp razor point that you want to have. And then also when it comes to your plugs, if you're throwing Rapalas or any type of plug, make sure you either sharpen that point, or maybe it's bent out a little bit, replace that treble hook, and we have plenty of treble hooks here at the store. So those are two important things to keep in mind to make your fishing trip a success. Now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you would like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd@DakotaAngler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And if I use your photo, your name will be entered into a monthly drawing for a $25 gift certificate. Before we end this week's report, I want to remind you of a couple of things. Our leeches still remain of high quality, even despite the heat. It seems like the leeches are going to continue on for a while, so if you need leeches in bulk, like a ½ pound or a pound, or even if you need a flat of crawlers, if you need them packed in bedding or if you like them in dirt, give us a call to reserve yours today, and make sure you give us a call at 605-336-9132. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next time, and again, thanks for watching.